Shanti. Greetings
Om
of
Shanti,
peace.
sister.
Greetings of peace and warm welcome. So, when someone asks me to keep the document ready, so as to keep it ready, I have to prepare the document, right? And to prepare the document, I have to understand the content that goes in the document. Similarly, if I want to keep the mind powerful, I have to understand the mind. I have to understand the steps, prepare the mind, so as to keep it powerful. And when we say we want to keep the mind powerful, does it mean that it's weak now? Is the mind weak? Ask yourself. And what are the signs of the weak mind? One can simply say that being not able to focus could be the sign. The mind is very distracted. Or also could be the mind being sensitive. Sensitive over small matters. Getting upset. Right? And another big sign would be overthinking. Right? Uncontrolled thoughts, too many thoughts. Not knowing what to do with that. So all these could be some of the signs of the weak mind. That's why mind is sometimes compared to a horse. The two, an untamed horse. Right? That many thoughts are created. So what do we do to take the mind in the other direction? First of all, we need to do a quantity control. That is, to reduce the number of thoughts that's created. Right? So as to reduce the number of thoughts, we have to reduce the wastage first. We have to identify where the thoughts are being wasted. And how can I take steps to take control of it? You might have heard some of the CEOs do wear the same dress every day to work. The reason behind is they want to save the energy that goes on in choosing a dress to wear, saving that energy to make a better decision for the business. So we have to check ourselves, where can I reduce the wastage of the thought power? What can I do in a daily life, Like even taking that example as my own, I can say that after coming to this organization, as some of you may be knowing, we do wear white dress, right? So white dress for our regular class, and even for the gatherings or for a retreat we go, we do wear white. And it becomes so simple. Whenever we need to pack or wear, just pick one white dress and wear and leave. Not much thought goes into that, in picking what to wear. I'm not suggesting to stick to one color, but the suggestion is to identify how much I'm wasting the energy, the thought power, and if I can reduce. This was just an example, and anywhere else in a day-to-day life, we can just check, where am I letting the power go waste? right? Followed by that would be to pause every few hours, maybe taking at the regular intervals depending on our schedule, maybe like every 1 hour or every 2 hours in the whole day, pausing and checking what is going on in my mind. Am I holding on to anything? Even that could be just something that has happened a few minutes ago. Someone said something and I am upset about it. Thinking again and again, repeating that scene in my mind. So this taking a pause in between helps me to identify and to change the quality of the thoughts. So what happens by that is, when I frequently check during the day and make a change, so that saves energy, and by the end of the day, lots of energy has been saved, which otherwise would be, I would think the same again and again. End of the day, I would be so tired because of this cyclical thoughts. Right? We want to definitely pay attention not to go into that cycle. Again, cyclical thoughts is nothing but spinning the same thoughts over and over and over again. Just like in the overthinking just mentioned before, right? Overthinking could be that of the past, thinking about it, what happened few years ago and how much one was hurt, and bringing up the same emotions. The intensity would be very much the same, right? So that would be one level of overthinking of the past, and the other would be connected to the future. Being anxious, worried. What if something goes wrong? What if it doesn't happen? Both sides, either the past or the future, it doesn't help the mind to be powerful. So this pausing helps us to check and change quite so often. Let it become a habit. And when we make it a habit, automatically if there is a shift in the thought, I can easily identify, okay, this is going in this direction, I have to change it now. I can identify it instantly with practice. We do take care of the body so much, right? We do take care by eating healthy food, organic, fruits, veggies, all the diet, we do take care. But what about the mind? If the mind is not well taken care of, it has deeper impact on the body. On the long run, it may give rise to so many illness, disorders, and that is named under psychosomatic, right? You might have all heard the term psychosomatic. Soma means the body, psyche is the mind. The stability or the condition of the mind influencing the body. And simply put, we all know that the state of the mind, if my mind is anxious, maybe like, the heartbeat would go high, the effect of the mind over the body, and maybe like I start sweating, my knees may tremble. So all these are physical signs of the state of mind. So there is a deep connection between the mind and the body. And mind is very sensitive, right? We may not see the impact of the mind on the body physically, but on the long term, it has a deeper impact, that leaves a deeper impact. Mind being sensitive, so we have to be overly cautious to take care of it. Just like, we may be having some precious items at home, delicate, we do take care of it, right? But in that case, even if it gets damaged, possibility is there we can replace it. But when the mind is damaged, it becomes very hard to repair it. Because it is subtle, it takes a lot of time and effort to change the route and the direction and to bring in the desired result. So let's take care of this mind, the subtle organ that needs to be, well directed. And again, when we take that pause or observe the mind to change the direction of the thought, we may have to have a conversation with our mind. Conversation in the sense, just like if the mind is worried about something. For example, the one of the family member has not come home. So as a parent, one would be worried, what if? Of course, we are not living in a perfect world. So the thought comes, what if? What if something goes wrong? What if this has happened? So when the mind starts thinking, going in that direction, I can talk to the mind saying, mind, no need to go into that downward spiral. Because nothing has happened. Let's not speculate on what is going to happen. Right? Just now let's think that everything is fine. The child or any other family member is going to come home safely. Let's not go in the negative thinking at all. So we have to be having a firm tone, assertive tone, and give a proper direction. What needs to be done, what thoughts to be created, and what not to be created. Again, with time, the mind definitely will listen to these directions. It will accept it, and it will move on according to the directions given. Again, it depends on how much the mind has been used to, whether it is stable or it is like too much on the other end of the spectrum. It depends on that, but definitely the result is guaranteed that the mind will listen to our direction. Just we have to give it a try. Right? And also about going about thinking. Overthinking is one factor. But again, overthinking just doesn't stop there. Overthinking translates into talking too much. Saying everything to everyone. Getting their opinions, feedbacks, which is not required, right? Why do we have to say everything to everyone? Definitely, whatever it's needed, essential, to the close, near and dear ones, we do share, but not for everyone. Talking too much, what happens is, when we say too much, talk too much, possibility is there, we may do some mistake, and mistake is resulting in hurting someone, their feelings, and we go into the regret, again mending the relationship, right? Again, the whole saga of that. Why to go into that? Let's be careful on what am I thinking and what am I speaking. Again, this comes from paying attention. And another thing some of us may be doing is to know more. We want to know everything. Again, let's be selective in that. What is essential? Let me know that much. That's enough. I don't need to know everything, right? Even maybe I would have missed a program. I would like to know how the program went. Okay, that's fine. I can ask a person, program went well, whatever the small details, I got it, then that's fine. I don't need to call 2-3 people and again ask them how it went, want to know more details, how was that and this. This was just a small example. And this could be applied in the family relations, that circle, or at the colleagues. We can apply it everywhere. Let's keep the information minimum. Less clutter in the mind, it becomes easy to maintain. Just like physically cluttered, right? It's very hard to maintain. Same thing applies here. Let's keep it clear and simple. When that simplicity is there, less clutter is there, when we do connect to the self, and when we do connect to the truth, the supreme, it becomes easy to have that connection and draw the energy. That really empowers the self. Right? That becomes a tool to empower the self. We have to pay attention. Thinking, speaking, knowing, gathering information, everything. What else can be done to make the mind powerful? Or else, have you noticed anything in yourself that that you would like to change? Like to change in the sense, in terms of thinking. Would any one of you want to share? If there is something you want to change,
Well, I
yes.
guess for me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I try to limit my TV time
Mm-hmm.
to like very little because I just thought it was kind of making my mind go all crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Yeah, I tried. Can you hear me? What's that? Better. Now? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yeah. One of the things I try to do is, I mean, I have a lot of chatter going on in my mind, so I mean, I try to keep myself busy with certain projects because my mind will go,
Mhm.
you know, it goes, I get in trouble literally. I literally get in trouble. Another thing I try to do is not watch television.
Mhm.
I cut it back to like 90% because it just it really disturbed my mind.
Mhm.
And I noticed when I stopped watching it, you know, it lowered it just lowered my negative energy.
Okay.
So
That's very true. I wanted to take up that point as well. You know, every so often, not like, if it doesn't happen during the day, by the end of the day, we have to take some time for ourselves. That is, just sit by ourselves, not doing anything, not watching anything, listening, speaking, nothing, just spending time with the self. What do we do at that time? Take a inventory of the mind. How the mind has been the entire day. Was it reactive? How did it take the different situations that came up during the day? How was the response? Was it well measured? Was it impulsive? Did I take anything personally? Am I carrying anything negative from whatever that's happened during the day? So that we have to do it on a daily basis. Because only when we check, we can realize that, how much am I carrying? Because it's not just about that day, right? If something is bothering, the physical tiredness will go away with sleep. But the mental tiredness, if there's any issue in the mind, it doesn't go away with sleep. The tiredness still remains. That's why when we wake up the next day morning, well rested feels like, but the mind is still groggy, right? We don't feel fresh. And if there's something, its issue has been unresolved, that is the thought that comes up in the mind, the first thing in the morning. Again, the not so high energy is experienced. So it's important to take the time away from the gadgets. Like sometimes we do like daily routine, right? Maybe cooking or cleaning or gardening. So these are some routine chores that we do that's easily mind drifts to somewhere else. Easily drifts away to, as said earlier, either to the past or it holds on to something. Mind is very active. It has to chew on something. It has to chew on, it doesn't sit idle. So what it chews on, we have to be selective. So in this organization, we have something called, elevated versions that is more positive. That is more for the understanding the self and more for the self-improvement. So what we do is, we take up those knowledge points and just think about it. Try to understand the deeper aspects of that knowledge and try to see, how can I implement this in my life? If not such elevated knowledge, you might receive even the positive thoughts, right? That's commonly shared, forwarded messages, something positive. So we can take up just that and, okay, how can I implement this? It is not just about reading and forwarding, saying it is good. It's not just that, but we have to implement it. So we can take such thoughts in a free time when we do the day-to-day routine chores. We can take up such thoughts and think, how much can I use this? Where can I use this? How is the quality of the mind? Where can I implement it? Everything we can check in that free time. It's not necessary we have to be using the phone always, right? During the daytime, yes, our responsibilities could be there. So as to fulfill that, we need to be on top of it. Receiving, sending messages, whatnot. But when it is a quiet time, really we have to quieten ourselves. Staying away from the gadget. Giving ourselves that time. That would be the real gift. right? We have to make it a point to give ourselves the time and see how it changes. Mind is just like a child, it had like a child, we do give, like, safety toys, right? Age appropriate toys. So even here we have to be selected what topics or what points the mind has to be chewing on, so that it helps to easily digest whatever it's chewing on and gives more health or benefit to the body. By taking care of ourselves, we can help ourselves and help others. When the mind is powerful, we'll be able to take better decisions, right? Think about it. When the mind is very, like, maybe like emotionally very high or unstable, those are the times we take hasty decisions, maybe at work or maybe with family members. Hasty decisions, not only not necessarily to be big, but saying something rude or something like that. So hasty decisions in a bigger way could take someone's life or lives, right? All this happens because of the instability of the mind. So we have to be careful of what is going on in the mind so that it can be directed in the other way, right? Would you like to add anything to that, or share your own experiences or insights?
For some reason, I think, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. It's, I don't know, maybe it's just human nature. It's just your mind always goes to the negative, no matter what it is.
Yes.
Is there something you can, I try to like listen to positive affirmations. I try to do that and, just to stay positive. Even my house has all these signs around, to be positive, which nobody in my household likes. But, but how do you know? It's just sometimes it's just so hard to like. I was here a couple of weeks last week. It says I'm a powerful soul, and I did that. I did do that. She says because something was bothering me. I said, okay, I'm a peaceful soul. I'm sorry, I'm a peaceful soul. I'm a peaceful soul. And it's just so hard to, like just go from the negative. Just stay on the positive and.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just difficult, I think, at times. It's a daily struggle for me, honestly, to keep the mind positive, because I tend to be. I tend to be negative, and I work very hard on trying not to be. But I don't know.
First thing is maybe like you can appreciate yourself, that you're able to recognize that something needs to be changed and you're trying it. Right? So keep the trying phase consistent. Take one of the aspects, as you were saying, like, you have tried to reduce the TV time, right? Again, like, see what else is bothering you. What other information you're collecting, it's bothering you. Is it like, again, that of the past, or just the current events, that of the past? So we have to have a pep talk with ourselves. How to do that? Again, saying to the mind, see, this has happened in the past. I don't want you to keep reminding me this again and again. Past is past. It has gone. It's not helping me in any way. It's not good for the body. It's not good for the soul as itself. So let's not go into that way. I want you to stop. This is final. Let's not go there. Again, having an affirmative tone. So again, repeatedly saying it until the mind accepts it. For example, let's do that now for a minute, just for a minute. Let's watch the mind. Keep watching the mind and see what you see there in the mind. Keep watching the mind. No judgments, just watch. Keep watching another 10 seconds. And pause. What did you notice? What was the mind saying? Did it say anything?
There is nothing in the mind.
Sorry?
When you concentrate, there is nothing in the mind to think.
Yes. Anything else? Did you see anything that in the mind, or was it, yeah, you saw something? It was active? It was active? That's okay. Again, no judgments, right? So what I noticed was the mind was quiet.
As if it was not there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, just quiet. It's like it's not like no thoughts at all. It is not about the zero thoughts. It is just having the thought of observing the mind. That is the thought the mind was holding.
When I saw the mind, is the case sometimes. It sometimes when the mind is upset, and when I try to observe, it's like so much of thoughts come. It's very difficult to observe in a detached manner the chain of thoughts that just pile on. It feels like it's just knows your weak point, and it keeps pressing that harder and harder and harder. Sometimes I mean, up to some level, I can do this exercise. I've been trying to listening to the Murlis and doing it, but when this starts, when this kind of cycle starts for me, it starts affecting my sleep, and it's
Yeah.
I'm not able to come out of it for
Yes.
2-3 days.
Yes.
When I meditate, it goes down for a minute or two, but then it again it's like a fever, high fever,
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Yes, that's that's so very true. Most of us would have experienced that. Again, going through that cyclical thoughts, spending so much time. Because why does the mind pick up the thoughts that are negative? Because already we have spent so much time, given that thought so much energy, right? That is there in the memory bank. When the mind is idle, when we're doing some regular mundane chores that was mentioned earlier, so when we are doing that, the mind doesn't have to be focused on anything, right? It's casually we do. It's automatically as if in cleaning dishes, automatically we keep doing it. Not much intellect is needed there. So at that time, mind picks up on such thoughts. So we have to clear from those past thoughts with, again, however much time it takes, we have to be consistent, and we have to have the confidence in the self that I will overcome this. All these years might have passed, right? Brooding over the past. But let's not go take it further again in this life. We have to change it. We have to bring a full stop to it with consistency, with determination, having faith. And let's not start with the note that I'm not able to do it. I'm not able to do it. This is not my thing. Meditation, I cannot do. No, let's not start with that note. Let's start with a more positive note, having faith and, with more hope that I will be able to do it. Right?
Okay, I see.
My question is, my question is that how to bring that part. I'm just thinking today's, I was out for exercise in a gym, and a couple of friends were there. And certain things was not really rude or anything like that, but I found that was rude, that we used to sit in the same row. When I was there, somebody else came in, they let somebody else. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal, right? I got a better place to even sit down because this time I have a more room. I enjoyed everybody else's company, but it's still bothering me,
Yeah,
It's like a kindergarten.
Yeah.
It's like I can't believe that at this age, I'm letting something little like that
Yes.
because it was a whole group. We sticked around, and when I said, "Oh, they said, oh, she can stay there," I felt so bad about it, and it's already 5 hours.
Yes, as was said earlier, when we do that pause, the 30-second pause was said, right? 30-second to a minute pause. If I were to have that habit of pausing after that, whatever the incident happened, pausing and doing a self-talk. Okay, this someone was rude, someone did something, let me not carry it forward. This has happened, let's forget it. Give the mind that direction. Let's forget it. It's not a big deal. It's okay. I want to move on. I don't want to hold on to this. And I don't
So
want
should
to.
I go and tell them what was bothering me? Like, even though it's not a big deal, I don't
Yes.
care one way or another. Should I affirm or just assert myself and
Yes.
let them know?
Yes, I would suggest
They,
that. Yes.
like that's the better way to deal with
Yes,
it.
because
or-
people have their own different ways, right? Whatever reason they're behaving in a certain way, whatever, it could be anything. The words that's spoken may not be right, the behavior may not be right. And people are going through so much these days, which we really don't know what is happening in their family, in their mind, at their job, everything, right? So let's give them that, bonus point or whatever, and just let it go. What I have to do, let me take care of myself. It is what they are doing. I don't know their problem what is, but let me not make it as my problem. When it becomes my problem, like when I'm still thinking about it, worrying about it, right? Taking it to the next day, that is when it becomes my problem. Whatever they did, they just did it and left. It's something it's said in this organization. Someone did something wrong, maybe like in 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, something wrong. They left the scene. But how many times do I repeat it in my mind? Right? That is not good for me. That causes real, as was said earlier, it affects the sleep, it affects the health. Why do I need to do that? It is just like being said, giving the remote to other person. Okay, you press the button and control my life. In the sense, control my thinking, control my mood, control how I feel. We are giving that opportunity to others. No, let me take the reins in my hand. Let me take control of the mind, how to think, what to think, how long to think, when to think. Let me take that control. And it comes with awareness. Paying attention. We can do it. Like when we bypass all these small things that happens, even when something bigger happens, we will be able to face it. Just like, I gave the example before of a child, maybe like some other family member not being home on time, worrying starts, tension builds up. So at that time, I'm being, having a talk with myself, directing the mind what to do, what not to do, let's be positive, all that. And it may not turn out good. Something unpleasant may happen, right? We are not living in a perfect world. Something could go wrong. Possibility is there. But the benefit of being calm and being positive is when something wrong happens, I have the strength to face it. I'll be in a better position to handle it better. Because my state of mind is in a higher position, higher level. Again, think the other way. If the mind is spiraling down, low energy, something big happens, how would my reaction be? Yes. Sure.
Okay, that's well and good for, okay, if a neighbor gives you a dirty look, you can ignore that. That's, maybe somebody says, let's say they talk about me, you can ignore that. But there's severe drama. For example, my father has been we're not Jewish, in a hard labor camp in Germany. That's severe trauma. I mean, this is 5 years of his life at a very young age. He died a young man, severe trauma. It couldn't leave his mind. He saw people being burned.
I'm sure, some of us would have gone through such scenes in the life, which is very, very hard to get over.
But that's severe trauma. This
It
is not
is.
like a thought, somebody gives you a dirty look. That's small,
Yes.
everybody can overlook that. Severe
Yes.
trauma. This is trauma.
Yes.
Your mind, where it causes drinking, rage, anger, and
Yes.
those are, and I don't know, I mean, personally, I had to give a pass for him because I don't think I could have survived that. I don't think any of us could have survived
Yeah.
what he had to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very severe.
I'm sure. Definitely trying this and meditation, that definitely helps. Because as I said earlier, in meditation, what we do is we identify the true self as the true being who we are, right? And when we connect the real self to the higher source, what we call as the divine or the truth, the higher source, that gives us the energy, the power to lessen the trauma. It definitely would help that way. I understand, it's a much bigger scene in life that's hard to get over, but with meditation, it happens. The change can happen. Right?
It didn't happen for him. He died
Mm-hmm.
with that trauma.
Yeah. Sometimes we do need the right guidance, right method of doing and handling, right? So sometimes, we may not have been exposed to such methods, then becomes a little hard. Right? Okay, shall we go into the meditation now? So you're now in the meditation, right? I would like to suggest, whatever you have heard, put it aside. Just keep it aside. Try not to reflect now on that. Just at this meditation time, whatever is the thoughts are given, try to experience that. Okay? Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Sit relaxed, be comfortable, and release the heavy energy or whatever burden I'm carrying for the day. Just let it go. To make the mind powerful, keep your mind simple and easy. Just be in the present moment. Inhale and exhale. Become aware of your own self and see yourself with dignity, with self-worth. Bring your positive feelings for your own self. I am a beautiful energy. hope and zeal and enthusiasm to bring change in my life the way I see it. And with that hope, I make an effort. And so appreciate yourself for whatever you are doing. I have realized that the only moment I have is present. Past is gone and future is yet to come. But what I have is present. And if I make my present better, peaceful, loveful, I can make my future likewise. I am a peaceful being. I am a loveful being. Peace and love are very close to what I am. And I know situations, circumstances, people can make me peaceless or give some discomfort, but I am a peaceful, loveful being. And I try to maintain that feeling. I do my best. Peace and love is my nature. Because when I experience this, I am easy, comfortable, light. Feel this energy of peace and love. I am an embodiment of peace and love. And when I become an embodiment of it, I radiate energy of peace and love around me. I radiate peaceful vibrations, loveful vibrations. stay in this feeling for some time. Feeling of peace and feeling of love. Om Shanti. Om Shanti.
Thank you everyone for joining. And thank you for sharing your thoughts. Om Shanti. Good night.
Shanti, thank you.
Yeah. And just a reminder, we do have a guest coming from India. Her name is Sister Usha. We have a public program here from 7 to 8:30. And the topic is sleep well, live well. So if you can join at the Piscataway Center, that would be wonderful. 7 to 8:30. Thank you. Om Shanti.